Greetings, I am Tom Merle. Welcome back to this special series of the celebration called Gifts for You. If you haven't yet, I suggest you go back to the very first episode of this series. Not the entire podcast, just this series. That's the first episode that came out in 2022. It'll tell you all about what this series is about. If you don't feel like doing that though, don't worry, my friends. You can jump right in here and still have a great time. Now, just as a reminder, while this intro for this episode might sound very similar to last week's, have no worries. This week we bring you another fresh set of deep, insightful, and meaningful conversations. Today we're going to dive even deeper into this time capsule that we're opening by listening to another set of conversations that I recorded in 2019 just before my daughter was born. And so without further ado, I'll step aside and I hope you enjoy. Assalamu alaikum, my friend. How are you?
Salam, I'm great. How are you?
Oh, I'm so happy that you're here with us. Thank you so much.
I'm happy to be here.
So here's how we want to start. I want you to introduce yourself to my beautiful child.
Okay.
And share with them, what your name means to you.
Okay. Hey, baby. My name is Intisar Seraaj. Well, Intisar Seraaj. My first name, Intisar, means victory with the help of God, because that's the only way we're going to be victorious. My middle name, Janan, means river of paradise. It comes from the root word Jannah, which means heaven. And my last name means knowledge, which is something that you will see that we're continuously striving to do. We're always going to be striving to learn. Education is a privilege and an honor, and do not take it for granted. More about me. I am a journalist or digital storyteller. So I tell people stories on various mediums. So if you want to watch a video, if you want to hear it on audio or podcast, whatever, or if you want to see it in writing, I'm your girl. And hopefully one day I'll be telling your story and the story of your parents.
I love that. What if you tell stories of people that you don't always like, right? Or that you might on face value not always think, I want to know this person's story, right? Have times like that happened to you?
Mm-hmm.
What have you learned from doing interviews specifically in that instance?
So of that instance, I'm actually working on a project like that right now. But I think that when you do something like that, when you're like interviewing or trying to tell a story of someone you don't particularly like, but in a way that it's like, okay, I wouldn't really hang out with you as a friend. But honestly, there is something beautiful about everyone, even the worst person. They're like, everyone is not a complete 1000% monster, or like we're not the worst thing that we've done. And there's something beautiful about everyone. And if you can hold on to that, then you can hold on to the light. And that's something you should also practice in seeing. If you get angry with someone, think about something that you love about them, and try to move on and forgive them. And just know that they're still a good person deep down and that they have light.
What about baby's own personal story? What should they keep in mind about their story?
Keeping in mind about your story, well, as Maya Angelou once told us all, that we will not always remember what we did for people, or people will remember what we did for them, but they will remember how we made them feel. So for your personal story, focus on doing for others and being kind to others and how you're making people feel. But of course, don't let that inhibit, you living your life, because we can't always make everyone happy. So I guess even with that feeling, turn that around and also make sure that your life is full of happiness, no matter how you want to live it, no matter what kind of details you fill in your story with. Make sure that the underlying tone of your story is happiness.
I love that. So I don't know my child's name yet. Adora gets to pick the first name. I get to make a suggestion for the middle name. And because the thing is, I picked the last name, so that's why she gets to pick the other two. But I know it's going to be a beautiful, culturally rich name,
Yes.
and one that they are going to probably have a interesting relationship with their whole life because of white supremacy. So tell me about growing up with the same thing, beautifully rich name that has so much deep meaning, but white people. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, always make people learn to pronounce your name. People might want to say, "Oh, do you have a nickname?" Yes, I do, and I share those with that nickname with those closest to me. But when I initially meet someone, I always make them learn how to pronounce my name. And honest God, I'm sure your name is not going to be that hard. Like, no name is really that hard. It's just practice and like not having a lazy tongue. And growing up with a name like mine, it's like everyone honestly like loves it. So honor yourself by making people learn how to pronounce your name, because even when they like, or I guess say older people, like more mature people, when you get older, you'll see in spaces that people really adore your name. Adore. Okay. And but when you're younger, your peers might be confused, but that's just, how some young people can be. So just ignore those and know that you have a fantastic name, and some people might just be jealous. Um, you might get some people that might try to make some kind of fun out of your name, but just go, and what does your name mean? And they'll probably have nothing. Nothing. So hold on to that.
Was there a certain stage where did you always love being Intisar, or was there a certain time where you then started to embrace it? Can you talk a little bit about that?
I've always loved being Intisar, but especially when I was around a group of people that loved me, especially like in the theater, because of course, when I was 8, I got involved in theater, and in theater, everyone wants everything to be dramatic and beautiful and interesting and whatnot. So just having a name like Intisar made me stand out. So having a different name makes you stand out, in a beautiful way. Yeah, and everyone wants to whisper my name or yell my name or make little funny things with my name, like my nickname is Inti, so they'd be like, Inti ways, that's interesting. Let's you know, things like that. But it's all in good fun and cute. So I've always loved my name, but especially appreciated it when I got into theater and around people that really do love me. And so they take care to say my name, because my parents, put a lot of effort into that. And that's honoring me and honoring my family by being polite and learning my name, learning how to pronounce it.
What does Islam mean to you? What would you like baby to know about Islam?
Islam is peace and freedom, mental freedom, emotional freedom, spiritual freedom, and peace on all those levels as well. And Islam, know that it is yours. It is your journey, no one else's. You don't have to answer to anyone but yourself and Allah. And, you learn it for yourself and find what you love about it, and you latch onto that and hold it dear. And so Islam to me, uh, I have to answer this question actually for another thing for some social media projects, but yeah, I would just say it means having peace and freedom. Like, I just like know in my mind certain things to be true because of the teachings of Islam, and I have a higher respect for myself, and other people have higher respect for myself and for me, because they know like, oh, she follows Islam and she has like these standards, and like there's already these boundaries set in place for people to not disrespect me, you know, because it just comes with the territory. So it means freedom, respect, and peace to me.
I love that. So we are, of course, our baby's going to grow up in an interfaith household.
Mhm.
And even at that, baby can go off and choose to be atheist or anything baby so aspires to be. It's more the morals and the values that we're looking for.
Right.
However, let's say they identify as Muslim.
Hmm.
They're going to be in a similar situation to you in a couple respects. One, their parents are converts, and that they're going to be a Black Muslim. And so there are certain politics that come with both things, especially when people ask you, like, are you a convert? Specifically when they ask Black Muslims that. So
Mm-hmm.
do you think you could kind of like, maybe let's say a baby's listening to this at 13, they're feeling their Black Muslimness, they're loving it, and people keep asking them that, or they keep experiencing microaggressions in the masjid. Do you think you kind of, could they be someone that you could talk to? Could you share a little bit what you'd like to share with them if they come across that?
First off, please know that you can talk to me about anything. But especially this, when people say something to you, not acting like Islam is your right, you remind them that it is your right, because before our ancestors were brought over on the transatlantic slave trade, we were Muslim, most of us, if not practicing like our indigenous cultures, or, you know, those type of like more village religions and spiritualities. So it's your right. Okay. This is like who you're supposed to be. Even if you choose not to follow Islam in the end, I mean, still take the practices or take some of the beliefs. Like you can take beautiful ideals from any philosophies or any religions, Buddhism, whatever it is, because there's something great about, I'll say most religions, you know, stay away from cults, please. At least do that for us. So, but there's something you can take beautiful from every religion. So, but know that it is your freaking right. Okay. Like, it's yours. And Islam belongs to everyone. You can tell them that too. It doesn't matter what gender, sexuality, what nationality, what uh race, made up thing, you know, what ethnicity, whatever you are, like it's for everybody. Yeah.
I love that. I think that should be like, if they're like, someone asks years later, what was your dad's advice about religion? They're like, his advice was just stay away from cults. Like,
Yeah.
like I think that's a good way to like summarize your religious advice to children. Stay away
Yeah.
from cults.
Whatever you do. Yes.
So we are going to work very hard to raise our children, our child, to love their Black self and everything about that. And we know that society is going to always be pushing against that.
Mm-hmm.
So, kind of as a auntie helping us to have our child feel that Black pride, what would you like to share with them? Any advice as they're growing up and learning to love themselves despite what society might be telling them?
First off, the question was how they can love their Black selves, but love your entire self of all the DNA that you have. It's okay. You are you. That is perfection, and love it all. Lean into it all. But for your Black side, coming from like a certain school of thought, I guess, a lot of people a lot of people will say that Black people are the original man, right? Like the oldest human remains being found in Ethiopia and, you know, the African continent. So know that your history is rich, literally from the deepest, like depths of the earth and from ancient history. Like, you are meant to be here and you are it. Okay? You're amazing. You're the original, the standard. And just look at society, like how everyone loves our culture and is always trying to emulate us, wanting to be us, because you're the stuff. All right? Yeah.
Thank you for that. So one thing that you and I do a lot when we're together is laugh and have a good
Mhm.
time. So what is baby's gonna be is being born into an interesting time.
Yeah.
What would you like to talk about? Self-care, any the good times, anything like that, any reminder around that area that you'd like to share with baby?
About like how to stay sane in this time. Okay.
Exactly.
Um, like you said, we do a lot of laughing. So, baby, I would say laughter is the best medicine, as a lot of people know. So do whatever makes you happy. If that's reading, if that's running or walking, if that's swimming, like do something to get the energy in your body going, and your mind staying positive. It enclose yourself around people that love you and that wish you the best and that are also spiritual beings, no matter what faiths they are, but that have some wisdoms. And know when you are out of it, take a moment to be silent and just observe and collect some wisdom from others and listen to your ancestors and your elders and the spirits, that are surrounding you and want the best for you and love you, and take a cue from them and just listen. Be patient. Um, yeah, soak up that good energy and the positive vibes. Because there's people, as you can see, around the globe, around the nation, loving you already before you're even born. Um, yeah. So just do you, and don't let anyone make you feel bad for how you practice self-care, whether that's going to buy yourself something nice. Please don't turn into like a shopping addict though. Like, everything in moderation, okay? You can take a spa day, whatever you want to do. Just love on yourself. And so I can't really give you specific advice on what to do, because you have to learn yourself eventually and learn what makes you happy. And that will carry on into like help you with all your relationships, because you can only be happy in a relationship when you know what makes you happy already. Like, you can't lean on anyone else to make you happy. You got to do that. So I wish you all the best of luck with finding what makes you happy, and I'm here to support it, whatever it is.
And speaking of that, the prompt is, baby, you can always turn to me if you need, or when you need, or if you'd like to talk about, or when can baby come to you?
Baby, you can come to me for literally anything, but know that I specialize. If you need any cooking help, although I know your mom got me beat, but hey, when you want to try something different, come to me. And you can always come to me for if you ever feel afraid, especially like public speaking or some type of like thing where you have to get out and be outside of yourself and like take your energy to another level. Although your dad would be really great at that too. But if you know how we kids can be, don't want to always talk to our parents. So, when you need some outside help, come to me. You can come to me. Ooh, when you need fashion advice, okay, honey, I will style you up. You can come to me when you need a hug. I love hugs. You can come to me when you need a vacation. We will fly you out, get you away from your parents, okay? And yeah, you can come to me talking about any issues like Islam or Black issues or pop culture or anything, literally. I'm so open. That's what you'll find out about me. Like, come to me. Yeah, and I'm gonna listen.
And the last one is, what's your invitation to baby? What would you like to invite them to consider, to think about, to do, to question, to evolve into, to go for? What's your invitation?
Who, baby, I invite you to learn yourself. And I challenge you to write something down, like start chronicling your life. Like how we talked about, your story. This is how you put it together. You with bit by bit, piece by piece. It can be a sentence every day. It does not have to be a long thing, but something that you can remember the day, from, or something that you've learned about yourself, or something that you're grateful for, or something that you see that you love about the world, or your parents, or your family and friends, whatever it is. Just at least a sentence a day, so you can, have these memories and look back and be nurturing yourself and learning yourself. I invite you to learn yourself.
Thank you so much, Intisar. I appreciate this so much.
Thanks. I'm sorry, part of it.
I, I, feel like, I feel like we should close with a dua. Do you want to make a dua?
Yes. Can I just go off rip, or should I do something traditional?
Yeah, go off the dome. Let's do it.
Okay. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Yeah, Allah, please bless Tom and Adora's baby to be a blessing on this world, to be a blessing to their parents, to be a blessing to their future family and their ancestors. Let this baby be the prayers answered of our ancestors. Lift this baby up into heights, admit this baby into Jannah. Let their life be full of light and love and peace and blessings, and let them have happiness and ease and much breathing and enjoyment. And please keep them safe throughout all stages of their life, and let them learn and stay humble, but have fierce confidence and knowing that they are very loved from every corner of this earth, and that they have all the wisdom to draw from anywhere they could possibly want. And just let them be at peace when they enter this world. Let them have health throughout every stage of their life, and always remind them that they are loved no matter what difficulty they are going through. Ameen,
inshallah. Jazakallah khair, Intisar.
You're welcome.
All right. Assalamu alaikum. Thank you.
No problem.
Mitch, I want to thank you so much for being a part of this and for being here. It really means a lot to me. Thank you.
You are so welcome.
So the way we're having everybody start is if you could introduce yourself to baby and then share what your name means to you or a story about your name.
Sure. Okay. Well, hello, baby. I don't know if you'll be a baby when you're listening to this, but hello. My name is Mitch del Monico, and my given name is Michele. And I will tell you that my parents aptly named me with an Italian masculine name. I don't think they consciously knew they were doing that at the time, but they did. And so I've kept my birth name as my legal name. Usually people in America can't pronounce Michele, so I just go by Mitch or Mickey, just to, I guess, make it easier. But I still feel like the name that my parents gave me is the name that I was supposed to have.
That's wonderful. I don't know if I knew that backstory. I appreciate that.
Yeah, I don't think many people know that backstory, so, you know.
So for you, I want to start off with, for you, what does creativity look like in your life? You're someone who's always telling a story and using the power of creativity in such a wonderful way. So I just wanted to start there. What does creativity look like in your life?
Well, a lot of times it looks like it looks like a mess. That's what it looks like a lot of times. Creativity looks like a mess. A jumble. Maybe not, maybe a mess is judgmental. Maybe a jumble is a good word. But I have a lot going on. People used to say I had a helicopter brain, that it was just always whirring. And I feel like that helicopter just kind of goes around on different levels. And what it looks like in a practical sense is that I get up every day and try to do at least one thing during the day that uses my creativity. A lot of times that involves writing, although not always. I feel that I have a lot of different ways that I express myself. Sometimes it's visual, sometimes it's writing. Sometimes in my brain I play like air guitar because I'm really good at that. No, I have a, obviously, like so many of us who don't have real music talent, we wish. But yeah, so I think in a practical level, creativity for me is a way to put some of myself into the world. I'm a shy person. I don't even want to say by nature. Lately I feel like I've been a shy person. And that's one way that I can share myself with the world. Yeah, and also in a way that I feel like is giving back to the world, because I do feel like the world gives me a lot every day. And that includes the animals in it, and the sky, and the breeze, and so much. I mean, I try to observe it all, and that's part of my creativity is observation. That's a big part of it, actually.
I love that. It seems at least from the times I've had the chance to interview you about your projects, that storytelling to you seems to be very intentional in the stories that you use your, what I think is really powerful creativity and geniusness to elevate. Can you talk a little bit about that? Or if I'm wrong, you can say, as you'll find out, your dad's often wrong. You're wrong. But if
Well, I feel like I should just say that anyway, because, every kid understands that.
That'll get you some nice cool
Definitely,
points for sure.
Your dad is often wrong. I'm just going to put it out there. I mean, occasionally. I didn't mean often. Or maybe I did. Oh, yeah. And you know what? That actually gives me the perfect opportunity to let baby know that being wrong is okay. It is just okay, and it's how we learn. And a lot of times we expect ourselves to know everything before we could reasonably know it. And even sometimes after we could reasonably know it, we don't know it. We just don't. And it's okay. It's okay to be wrong, because it means you're trying. And trying, to me, is a success.
I love that. So this is like a question within a question. So it's okay to be wrong. And then...
Yeah. And then how does my creativity elevate? Or how do I use my creativity to elevate? When I write, I would love to tell you that I intentionally elevate anything, but a lot of it comes from my subconscious. And so what I try to do is to use the gift that I have to put something into the world that will benefit the world. And in that respect, I feel that my unconscious helps me elevate whatever I'm doing. So if it's a story about this, detective solving a mystery, is it really? No, I mean, that's what's on the surface, but what is his soul doing? What is he trying to accomplish? And how can his journey help other people who are on the same path? So yeah, whatever I do, I really do try to think about it in terms of theme and what it's putting out into the world.
And so you're also a published author.
I am, yes.
And particularly, I wanted you to talk about, your book is about people who disagree on really powerful, really core things, not just disagree about their favorite color.
Right.
Why is it important to still stay in relationship or have a conversation with somebody that you might deeply disagree with?
Yes. So baby, you may disagree with your father on any number of things, including, as my book is about, politics, but not limited to. But for me, I do disagree with members of my family about politics, and it was important for me to create something that would help me communicate with them better. So I did make this workbook, and I feel that for me, I need to challenge myself to remain open to hearing other points of view, that's important for my soul's growth in the greater scheme of things, and also that I need my family. I want my family in my life, and I don't believe it is my. I don't believe trying to change them. I just don't think that's. I don't want to say that's not my job. I think that my job is to be an example in the world, and to live my life true to my own values. And I also feel at the same time that can coexist with disagreeing with my family about politics. And it's important that it does, because there are multiple sides, multiple angles that everybody can look at the world, and it's important to hear others. I feel like I want to say something more to baby than it's important, because that feels a little bit like a cop-out. But I just feel like for our souls to grow and for humanity to grow, we need to be able to hear, to really listen to people. And that goes back to part of what the observation that I do in the world. It's not, it may be a bird today, but tomorrow it may be a person who randomly started talking to me. And what can I get from that? What can I give to that? It's a challenge. I will not tell you it's not a challenge, baby, if you disagree with your parents about politics. It's a challenge, but it's a worthy fight.
I think I'm going to go a little off script. I think it helps, at least in our interview, I felt it helps to give credence that, like, you have skin in the game, like my child's going to have skin in the game. And I say that in the fact that, for example, just this weekend at the time of this recording, Trump just put out a banning Nigerians from different things. Some has to do with travel. A lot of it has to do with naturalization, a lot of different things. So, Trump is specifically targeting my baby's nationality. Yeah. I don't know what religion they're going to choose, but if they choose Islam will at least be a part of their life. It targets that. So, it's not abstract, like, oh, I disagree on their policy of blah, blah, blah. At the same time, there are people that are actually a part of this project we're doing right now who have expressed their love for baby, who will probably vote for Trump. Yeah. So I know you have it. It's up to you how specific you want to speak to. I know that you have situations where things that are being decided in policy affect you as well. but you're still willing to come to the table with people you love. You know what I'm saying? Do you mind talking a little bit?
Sure. Yeah.
That?
I mean,
okay, go for it.
Specifically, being transgender and putting and having those policies greatly affect my life, and knowing that some members of my family disregarded that, or in their minds they convinced themselves that he was for the LGBTQI, etc. community. I'm not, I'm not convinced they actually believe that, although maybe they did. They wanted to. So that has been difficult, and I feel like, yes, when policies directly impact your life, it's even more of a challenge. Climate change is going to, and the policies of that are going to certainly affect baby. And, I don't even, that's going to affect all of us, but certainly baby more than us, because of, the time in which baby is born. So, and I've talked to my family about these issues, and it's hard. It's hard to disagree when you feel like you're right. I mean, honestly. And even if on some of those issues, my family will say, you know what, you're right, but these other things are enough to make me still vote this way. It's interesting. I've learned a little bit about my family through the workbook, specifically about my mother, just from because I did the entire workbook with her. And I feel like, yes, it's important to have these conversations, because at the very least, she understands directly for me how it's impacting me. So that can be very powerful. It can be very powerful when your own child, because, no matter what it feels like to other kid, your parents, I know that I won't speak to all parents, but Tom and Adora, I know that you are always going to love your child, and that's going to come first.
I guess too, and I appreciate the courage and vulnerability that you're sharing. What makes you feel like, I guess for baby, why is it, do you think, worth it to, because you very well could be, in my opinion, right, and just saying like, well, screw y'all, when you put in the work, then we'll talk. But that you not only go through the work, but you wrote a book and created a workbook for people to have these conversations, which baby will definitely read and write a book report about and send it to you.
I love it.
But I guess, the starting point, why do you think it's even worth caring, or the energy, or, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, I think for me, there is some part of feeling like, okay, I was born to these parents for a reason. I don't know the bigger reason, but I feel like we owe it to each other to try and get closer to each other rather than going further away. And particularly after the 2016 election, I felt like, wow, I mean, I didn't speak to my family for weeks after that. Even when I came out as transgender, there were conversations, it felt very odd to me. And I thought, I don't want to get used to this. This is not helpful to the universe to say, well, forget you, I don't agree, so I'm out. I just felt like for my soul's work that I have to continue engaging. And I'm not even sure about that on a religious level. I don't even know what I believe. I just feel there's some instinctual pull for me to want to work on my soul's journey, such as it is. And it's very ambiguous. I don't even know what it is, but I guess maybe that's okay for baby to hear that, like, you know, the soul's journey is often, you know, unknown.
I like that. That was really beautiful. That was really awesome. Thank you, Mitch.
Yeah.
Is there anything on your heart you'd like to speak to or share with baby that's unprompted, just something that you feel called to share?
You know, there is actually, and I'm going to have to move a little bit to get to it. I just, sometimes when I write or I read, I will make notes in my, you know, to myself so that I remember, like, okay, I want to go back and I want to look at this page in this book. And I was looking down at these notes that I had, and I thought, oh my God, that's kind of like a little haiku. And it plays better if you see it, but I'm going to read it anyway. And it's just, in the end, order, every once in a while, life. And I thought, that's a haiku almost. But yeah, so that's what I want to share, and make of that what you will. In the end, order, every once in a while, life. So those are random words from a random book that I was randomly reading that I thought felt very profound for some reason.
Well, I appreciate
I guess
that.
I guess I thought it had to do something with, like, you know, when you're dead, whatever happens is ordered, you know, and everything else in the meanwhile is life.
I love that. One of those things you can just meditate on and ponder.
Yeah, that's what it felt like. When you get to that place where you want to meditate on something, that might be a good one.
So,
and welcome to this world, too. I want to say welcome to this world when you arrive, because it is one thing I noticed while watching my nieces and nephew is that it was such a powerful experience to watch them go through things the first time and realize that we all did that. And it was super cool to watch.
So my next one for you is a prompt.
Okay.
Baby, you can turn to me when you need, if you'd like to talk about, if you're curious about.
Oh, yes, baby, you can turn to me and talk to me about anything you need to, but specifically if you're having issues of gender identity, you can certainly come and talk to me about that. But I am also open to talking about anything. I find that I get as much as I give, and I hope that if you ever do feel like you need to talk to someone and you don't feel like there's anyone around who you can talk to, please come talk to me.
Well, that means a lot to me. I'm glad that you offered that. Last one for you. Sure. What is your invitation for baby? What would you like to invite them to do, to consider, to think about? What is your invitation?
I think that, let's see. I think I would invite baby to define for yourself what risk-taking is in the world, what feels just out of your comfort zone. Try to remember what it was like to learn to walk, And if you don't remember, by the time you're listening to this, watch another baby learning to walk, and then take those risks. And remember, you're going to fall down sometimes.
I love this. You should consider being a writer.
I'm going to keep thinking about that. I am writing a mystery right now. I'm revising it. So yes, it's in there. Not that phrase, but but all of me is in there. All of me is in there. That's for sure.
Well, thank you so much, Mitch. It means the world to me that you're a part of my child's life and that they can call upon you as a member of their community. So thank you.
Definitely. Please give your best to Adora. Give my best to Adora and tell her that not only do I hope that her wrist feels better, which it will, but that her birthing is a smooth and wonderful and beautiful process. And I will be thinking of you both and can't wait. I'm very excited for you.
Thank you. I will, and I can't wait for you to meet each other.
Yay! I can't wait to meet you, baby. All right.
All right. Well, thank you, Mitch.
If you think of anything else, let me know.
I will. And looking forward to us all hanging out soon.
Definitely. All right. Take care.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye.
I hope you enjoyed the conversations that I'm sharing with you this week. And I hope you return again next week to continue the series, Gifts for You, and continue to receive the insights, the messages, and if I can use the word again, the gifts that each conversation is ready to share with you. My friends, I thank you for being here with us this week, and I look forward to you returning again next week for the next edition of Gifts for You. As always, I'm wishing you peace and blessings. See you next week. Thank you. One more thing. I'd love to continue the conversation. Feel free to join me at tomearl.com/join. Subscribe below, or let's connect on social media. Tom Earl Artist. Thanks again for watching.